What's going on? My name's Liam. If you don't know me, I do stuff in my life to include read a lot of books, do a lot of workouts, jiu-jitsu, and whatever lessons I extract, I put on my YouTube so that hopefully it helps you. And I am on the road to 10,000 subscribers. We're almost there. If you round up, we're at almost 2,000 right now. If you round up, we're actually at 10,000 already. If you can do that math and you're smart enough to do that math, then you can kind of understand how explosive the channel is in that way. So we basically already have 10,000 subscribers if you think about it. Anyways, today I'm talking about how meditation has helped me. I did a 14-day meditation challenge where I meditated every day, and now I'm on a 16-day streak because I've enjoyed it thoroughly. Now let me preface and give you the history behind how I came to even want to do a meditation challenge. So for the past year, I've kind of read up on Buddhism. There's a guy named Naval Ravikant, a business guy, investor, and he talks about the importance of meditation and how it's helped him in business. And to connect business to spirituality was a cool little, he was a middleman in that way. And he opened my eyes to just the value of being peaceful, happy, and how that might even help business. And so through him, I realized, okay, I kind of want to try meditation. And there's actually a video on the channel where I did 30 minutes of silence. So I filmed myself in silence and just sat there. That was honestly miserable. It felt like an eternity. I had thoughts running rampant through my brain. And I honestly didn't know anything about meditation at that time, so kind of made that a bit more authentic, and you can go and watch that if you want. I think it's called I Sat in Silence for 30 minutes. Anyhow, fast forward, I became friends with this guy named Zach who told me he meditates quite often, and he was able to do those more transcendental meditations where you have hallucinogenic experiences or very spiritual experiences. And that to me was like, okay, there's a level above that I have definitely not reached. And I'm pretty good at being consistent at stuff, but meditation, I think it was something that I didn't allow myself permission to do in a small capacity. In all these books, people talk about meditating for hours and hours and hours. And I thought that that was the only way to get value out of meditation. But what I've just learned recently is that's not true. On this 14-day challenge, I didn't give myself a time frame to hit, which might be something I do in the future. But in the 14 days, I said I'm going to meditate. And it was mostly at least 5 minutes, but on average, it was 20 minutes. So every single day, and it was at nighttime. It was right before I would wind down for bed. I use over-the-ear headphones because I got other people in my house, which kind of inhibits the meditation. But I put the headphones on, and I like to experiment with a wide variety of sounds and meditation techniques per se. So I've experimented with headphones that you would wear at a gun range that just make everything completely silent. That's probably the most uncomfortable and maybe has the most growth attached to it. But what I do most often is I will put on a binaural frequency. So it's two frequencies that are scientifically supposed to stimulate your brain in a meditative way. And if you don't actually have access to complete silence, it's a good tool. But one thing I'd like to tell you guys is that don't try to structure it in any certain way. That's what I learned throughout the 14 days was get an intentional meditation in some capacity, in some shape or form every single day. And I'm gonna touch on what I learned, but I wanna make sure you realize that that's important. That's why I didn't ever stick to it in the past, was because I thought it had to be this crazy ceremonial practice. Whereas in reality, it could be you sitting there with your eyes closed with no headphones, just breathing. And there's great value in that if you string enough days together. So now let me talk about now what I learned in the 14 days. So it came at an interesting time because I probably on the 4th day thought, I want to see what would happen if I went without caffeine after drinking a cup of coffee every single day for 2 years. And for some reason, I think the awareness I gained day to day through the meditation is what prompted me to want to experiment a little bit. So I had for a while questioned why I get tired in the afternoon and can't continue this hyper productive work that I get in the morning. And I didn't really come to a good conclusion. I tried an afternoon walk, which is good, but I wasn't super consistent with that. I tried just gritting through it. That's cool, but in the morning, the productivity is pretty much effortless. So I really questioned, okay, what is causing me to not be productive in the afternoon? And only after 4 or 5 days of meditation did I begin to question what caffeine might be doing. In the realm of meditation, caffeine is generally an inhibitor of meditation. Tension is not exactly great for meditating. It's much easier to meditate when you're relaxed. Although some tension could take you in deeper into meditation, that's more advanced. So I said, I'm going to go a week without caffeine, and I was simultaneously meditating. And those two things together actually provided a lot of clarity. When I had no caffeine, I almost questioned a lot of things that I was doing and the true value behind them, because coffee is one of those things where you attach an activity to coffee. I attached my morning reading with coffee, my morning writing. A lot of my videos come from a caffeine stimulated state of mind. So for that reason, it was a very different point of observation that I hadn't experienced before, and meditation fueled that. And I think that was the big thing in the past 2 weeks that I experienced for meditation. But the big lesson there is that the meditation can cause you to question things that you otherwise would not have questioned, that might be leading you astray. If you think about the mind as this artistic creation where it's constantly, it's really good at creating things. However, it can't create and consume at the same time. Most of the time, the only part of the day where people actually have space to think and perhaps question their current life is when their head hits the pillow, and that messes up your sleep. So meditation and putting it towards the end of your day will help your sleep, number one, but will also give you a window to have a lot of clarity around what you're doing with your life. And it's not just during the meditation, it's actually in your day-to-day, where you'll have these thoughts that are influenced by the 5 to 20 minutes you spent in the meditation the night prior. So my main conclusion is that meditation has a long-lasting effect on your clarity. And I'm going to continue to meditate, but if I were to leave you with any tip, as right before I end this video, it would be allow yourself to have a short meditation, because only when you string days together do you get any value from meditation at all. Before, I was doing these sporadic meditations once a month, twice a month, and I got nothing from them and they were miserable. Now I'm starting to become very familiar with sitting down, breathing, and doing nothing. And I think this can help if you're in sports, if you're in business, for your work, whatever it may be. Meditation can really help you, and it's something to experiment. And I would recommend starting with a guided meditation that is 10 to 15 minutes. Just go on YouTube, type in guided meditation, choose one that you like, and surrender to that for the 10 to 15 minutes that it is. And then try it again the next day. Maybe start with 5 days or 7 days. And if you can string together that many days, you can continue it for the rest of your life and really get those exponential gains. Hope this was helpful. Bye-bye.